I paid for a stranger's taxi even though I was struggling. Turns out he's the CEO who hired me. I'm a 6-year-old woman who's been job hunting for months. Savings were running out, rent was due, and I was down to stretching canned food and instant noodles to survive. Every day felt like another rejection email, another interview that went nowhere. Last week was one of my lowest points. My last $20 was split between commute money and cheap groceries. My shoes were worn out, my umbrella was broken, and to top it off, it began pouring while I was waiting for a bus after another interview that said, "We'll call you," which I knew meant, "We won't." While trying to stay dry under a tiny shed, a taxi pulled over nearby. The driver was yelling at his passenger, a man in his 50s, wearing a drenched dress shirt. From what I overheard, he had forgotten his wallet and couldn't pay the fare. The driver thought he was lying. The man looked genuinely embarrassed and kept apologizing. Maybe it was empathy. Maybe exhaustion. Maybe I just knew how horrible it felt to be humiliated when you're already struggling. Without thinking too much, I walked over, pulled out $5, and handed it to the driver. That was money I absolutely could not spare. It meant no snacks, no extra food, no nothing. But something in me just couldn't let the moment get uglier. The man stared at me like I handed him gold. I'll pay you back, miss. Please. I shook my head. "It's fine, sir. We all forget things." He thanked me over and over, even trying to get my name, but I told him not to worry. Honestly, I didn't want him to see how empty my wallet truly was. I went home that night tired, soaked, and unsure how I was going to make next month happen. Fast forward to today, my final interview for a marketing assistant job I really needed. I walked in with my last clean blouse, rehearsed answers, and a prayer. They called me into the conference room, and my heart nearly dropped. Sitting at the head of the table was the taxi man. He blinked, stood up, and said, You're the young woman who helped me." I nearly melted into the chair from shock. He laughed gently and shook his head. "Well, this is unexpected. Please, sit." The interview was nothing like I expected. He asked about my skills, my goals, my work ethic, but he also asked why I helped him when it was clear I didn't have much myself. I told him the truth. Kindness doesn't cost anything, even when it does. He smiled at that. An hour later, HR called me. I got the job. It turns out the man wasn't just any executive. He was the CEO and founder. He told HR, "Hire her. If she treats strangers that well, imagine how she'll treat our clients." Now I'm 1 week into my new job, finally breathing again, rent is paid, I bought real groceries. Life feels possible. All because of $5 I honestly couldn't afford and one soaked, embarrassed man who turned out to be the person who would change my life. Sometimes the universe pays attention in ways you least expect.